over numbers 28 and 29 from the Big Ideas 1.2. Some people were struggling a little bit with these problems, so I'm going to record this, and hopefully this will make sense. So we have to find AC. And instead of giving us numbers, like if they would have given us 5 and 10, we would know the total segment AC would be 15. So instead of numbers, we have an algebraic expression. So we still add them though. We take AB plus BC, and in this case, it's x plus 2 plus 7x minus 3. Notice it's not an equation. We're not solving for x. We can't. We don't have enough information. They would have to tell us what AC is. So all we can do, and all you need to type in here when you do this problem is x plus 7x is 8x. And then combine your numbers. 2 and minus 3, or 2 plus negative 3, is going to be a minus 1. And that's the answer. Okay? Now, this other problem down here, this time they tell us the entire segment, okay? So then we have to subtract. Again, everybody could do this with numbers, but now we have to make sure we understand the algebra behind this. So PQ is 13y plus 25. And now here's the key. We're going to subtract this whole quantity. So if you're going to show this on paper, this needs to be in parentheses. Okay, and so really what happens then is this part doesn't change. This 8y you need to treat as minus 8y, and this 5, you're basically distributing -1, is going to be a minus 5. So the answer, 13y minus 8y, is going to be 5y, and 25 minus 5 is going to be a 20. Okay, that turns the problem's correct. Turns them green. So again, a couple people had questions about that. I'm hoping that makes sense. Again, most of us can handle just numbers. We need to be able to understand the algebra part of this. Say the last question. This is something very similar. I gave you that puzzle time, extra practice. It's more practice on this. So what you need to realize is we have point S in between. So RT is the total segments, and if it helps, draw a picture. Like here's RT, and we're going to have a point S somewhere on that segment. It's not the midpoint. They're not telling us it's the midpoint. It's somewhere on there. So what we have to do is we're going to have to add RS plus ST, and that's going to equal RT. So in this case, we know the total length of that segment is 21. We have to take 2x plus 10 and add st, which is x minus 4. And now we can solve, because we have an equal sign, we know that whole thing is going to be equal to 21. Okay, so we just simply solve this. This can be simplified. 3x plus 10 minus 4 is 6. And this is what I would type in. So take this, type it in right there, and that will turn green. Then we're going to actually solve this. So I'm going to subtract 6. If I subtract 6 from 21, we get a 15. We divide by 3, and we get a 5. So we'll have to put a 5 there. You can check that answer. It turns green. Once we know that x is 5, we take this and we can replace this x up here with a 5. So we know RS is 2 times 5, which is 10, plus another 10, it is 20. Now the whole length is 21, so obviously this has to be a 1. 20 plus 1 is 22, but if you plug in a 5 here, you can verify that it's a 1. Okay, these two numbers have to add up to the total length of RT. Okay, so similar to that is this problem, part B, where you just have to write your equation. RS plus ST is going to equal, in this case, 60. So just like before, simplify, and you're going to end up with this equation. So take this 7x minus 24, type it in here, and then we're going to solve. we're going to add 24, which is going to be 84. And when we divide, I'll grab calculator just because you're allowed to have a calculator, we're going to get a nice answer of 12. So when we divide, we get x equals 12. Okay, so 12 goes there. That turns green. And then once we have that answer, it's really easy to find the others. So here, let me just grab my calculator so you can see how you can do this on a calculator. Now that we know x is 12, is simply 3 times 12 minus 16. You do that all on a calculator, and it's going to tell us, well, this segment has to be 20 units. Okay, so that's 20 units. Oops, I have to grab my pen again. 20 units. Now, this has to be 40. I can kind of do that in my head because I know the total length is 60. Well, if that's taken up 20, that leaves 40 for the other. But you can also substitute in. So you can also plug in 4 times 12, which is going to be 48, minus 8. There's your 40. Okay. So the last two, same concept, but this time, instead of giving RT as a number, they have it as an algebraic expression. So x plus 10 is going to be the total length of that segment, but we do it the same way. We take the RS and we add the ST, and that's going to equal the total length RT. Okay, so we just add the two segments within that segment together and clean this up. So when we clean this up, negative 8 plus 11 is a 3. Type this in right there. Okay. And then when we solve, should be pretty easy to solve. We have x's on both sides, so I'm going to bring this x over by subtracting. I'm going to be left with an x, and I'm going to subtract the 3. 10 minus 3 is 7. So just like that, we know x is going to be a 7. And if x is 7, 2 times 7 is 14. Take away 8, you're going to see that is going to be a 6. And this we already know is 11, so now they're asking for RT. So we have 6 plus 10. The total, or excuse me, 7. 7 goes in for x, so this is going to be a 17. So I put in my x is 7. We have 17. Okay, that's all they're asking for that problem. Make sure you realize if you take 6 plus 11, it equals 17. Okay, last part, and then you're done. This one, same concept. This time they didn't give us any numbers. They have all algebraic. Actually, no, they have a 19 here. Sorry. So this is very similar to that last problem where we have 4x minus 9 plus 19 equals 8x minus 14. So we'll just clean this up. And again, use a calculator if you need to. Don't make calculation mistakes. So it's really important that your brain sees negative 9 plus 19, which is going to result in 10. So as far as the equation, take this, type it in there, it will turn green. Okay, so now we simply have to solve. I like keeping my x's positive, so I'm going to bring these x's over to the right side. I'm going to take my number and add 14 to both sides. So when I clean up, the x's on this left-hand side disappear. I end up with 24 on that side, and then this is going to add up to a 4x. I divide by 4, and we get x is 6. So we're going to put a 6 right here. And if x is 6, it should be very easy to find the rest of these. So for RS, we can, again, use your calculator if you need a calculator. So we're told that RS is 4 times your x. Well, 4 times 6 is going to be 24. Just type it in that way. Take away 9, and we're going to see it's a 15. Okay, so 15. And then to find RT, it's the same concept. I pick up my calculator and I'm going to take 8 times my 6 and take away 14. And we get 34. Okay. So that should be 34. Hey, look, it changed colors there for a second. But another way of checking, 15 plus 19 is 34. So once you get numbers, just verify. Just make sure you didn't make a mistake. These are very easy to check. For big ideas, obviously, it tells you right away if you're correct or not. So I hope this video helped you understand the algebra behind these geometry problems. Okay, thank you for watching. Take care.